Thomas Crooks' father, we hear from him again. So, this is from Fox News. I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this as it is, and then we'll discuss. You're going to hear this and tell, I want to know genuinely, are you hearing what I hear when it comes to this? Because this one is, I have so many thoughts on this. Now, we have already heard from his father. This is the shooter's father. We've heard from him one other time. He was getting groceries. I think he was with his masked daughter. That's alleged. We don't know if that was his wife or his daughter. Looked younger, sounded a bit younger. Then they basically weren't going to say anything. But he did say, when I can speak, when my lawyer lets me speak, I will give a statement. And he looked like he was sad. I mean, the situation looked sad. He looked like a grieving father. And we have to remember, even though this kid did horrible things, this father just lost his son. And not only that, he lost his son by the gun his father gave him. That's got to be tough. That's got to be a tough thing to look at. But I'm going to play this video, guys. Let's go ahead and pull this up. And let's see if I can. Bam, there we go. I love it. My partner is wonderful. He's not, when I say he's not a tech guy, he's a computer guy. He does software, but he doesn't know anything about this stuff. And he set all this up for me on OBS. So yay to him. Okay, I want you guys to check this out. Listen to this. So this is, again, his father.
Mr. Crooks, was there anything that might have made you aware of what your son was up to?
Mr. Crooks, can you explain why your son has such a limited social circle?
Is there any statement you'd be willing to share with us right now, Mr. Crooks?
I gotta pee.
Okay, so, did you hear what I heard? Let's go back. Okay, they have closed caption. Let's turn the closed caption. I want to go back and tell me if you hear what I hear.
Cox Business is
we have an
set you up
ad.
with tech
Sorry,
solutions
guys.
that adapt to your business
Just
needs.
a second.
Like reliable fiber internet plus
Skip ad.
personal
Okay, here we go.
Mr. Crooks, was there anything that might have made you aware of what your son was up to?
Okay, it says closed caption, but it's not popping up. So just listen with me.
Mr. Crooks, can you explain why your son has such a limited social circle?
Is there any statement you'd be willing to share with us right now, Mr. Crooks?
I gotta pee.
All right. Is it just me? Or did you hear this man just say, when he was asked questions about the situation, I gotta pee? They said, do you want to make any statements? I gotta pee. Okay, I shouldn't laugh. It does kind of make me laugh, but let's talk about this. So, and we have more information to get into. First of all, again, another person with him, I think it's his daughter. We know that there was an older sibling of Thomas's, and she came to their house right after it happened with a suitcase. I think that was also her with him at the grocery store. It could be his wife. We don't know. I haven't actually seen the wife, but this to me looks a little more like the sister who apparently was really outgoing and well-liked and was a go-getter, and we'd heard good things about her. But yeah, his response is, I have to pee. First of all, I have so many things to say about this. He looks devastated. He looks sad. This looks like a man in mourning. He looks sad. As much as it sucks, and people will be upset with this, I can understand why he won't talk legally. You guys know I've been through federal court, the only time, in a lawsuit with a company. And you guys know in that, I learned from my lawyer, you keep your mouth shut unless you're spoken to. You pay me to speak for you. And I was like, say no more. Good. So you don't, the less you talk, the better. The more you talk, the worse it looks. In fact, in my situation, I don't want to say too much because this company was nuts. It's like I don't want to poke the bear or ruffle the feathers of the hornet nest, because hornet nests have feathers if you didn't know. But in my situation, they were playing a game of chicken because they figured I wasn't going to actually go to court and go through discovery. Discovery is a process that can take a year of gathering information and evidence. So they were doing all kinds of things. They were talking, they were saying all kinds of stuff to intimidate me, to scare me, to allegedly threaten me. But I was quiet. I only said what I was legally allowed to say, and I stuck to the facts, which was me and other people aren't getting paid. And they're trying to take a channel from me that I was co-owner of, and really I had built from the ground up. All true statements. I wasn't putting out people's identities and identifications and smearing them and doing the things they were doing. But my point is to say I can understand why he's not speaking and why his lawyer would tell him not to speak. I can understand and I want to respect he's a grieving father. I can understand and respect the media is doing their job and they're trying to get information. If you are told don't speak to the media by your lawyer and that's your statement, why on earth do you turn around and say, I gotta pee? Now, maybe, and God, I'm breaking this. I feel like I'm thinking way too much about this, but I always try to look at every side of a situation and give you guys the information. So him doing this, is this some crappy, snarky thing from him? Could be. It could be that he's being followed around and just tired and he's just like, hey guys, I just pulled over because I have to go to the bathroom. But if he's told not to say anything, why would that be the statement? I'm all for a good poop joke, fart joke. I love them, guys. I love it. I love crude humor. I love toilet humor. I love dark humor, right? To me, anytime you're making light of a situation, as long as you're not being overtly hurtful, I'm going to partake and enjoy it because I like finding the joy, the magic, the sparkles in something, right? It's my name, Joy Sparkle Shine. So that's what I like to try to do, and I try to amplify it and extrapolate that. But why would you do that? Why would you say I have to pee? But it makes me laugh because I have dumb, stupid child humor, but still, like, why would you do that? So let's take a look at the article and see if we can get anything else from this. How do I get out of this? Get me out. Okay, there we go. Let's see. So split. Here we go.
Trying to keep it cool this
Go
summer.
back. Okay. So it says Trump assassination attempt. FBI says gunman's family not
Trying to keep
alarmed
it cool this
by
summer?
chemical
You
purchases
can trust your Canyon
prior
State.
to shooting. So let's look. From Pittsburgh, the FBI told reporters on Monday that would-be presidential assassin Thomas Matthew Crooks had a long-standing interest in science and experiments. As a result, his family wasn't concerned about the myriad packages he was receiving at their house. That makes sense to me. I can make sense of that. Crooks 20 made 25 gun-related purchases online between spring 2023 and the first half of this year and bought materials used to make explosives 6 times, all with aliases, according to the agency. And on July 13th, he opened fire at a rally for Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump, injuring the former president and 2 others while ending firefighter Corey Comparator. The shooter had a long interest in science and things like this and had been doing experiments and things like that over a period of time, said Kevin Rojek, special agent in charge of the FBI. Where'd it go? The ad changed, so I can't find where I went. Okay. The FBI's Pittsburgh field office. For that reason, his family wasn't concerned that the packages were focused on committing an attack of this nature or harming other people. Anything he was doing online, Rojek said. He wasn't hoarding ammunition. He wasn't doing anything that I would say significantly raised suspicion to his parents at his home. And it says, Rojek said that his parents have been extremely cooperative from the first night we approached them. The parents have said in their interviews that they have no advanced knowledge of any of this. We do find that to be credible at this stage, but pending additional investigation, Rojek said. Again, we're not ruling out any possibility out as far as what was in that home. The agency's revelation come as Crooks' father, Matthew Crooks, was spotted on Monday leaving a Pittsburgh office building containing 2 law firms. He decided to decline to answer reporters' questions about whether his family spotted warning signs before their son attempted to take the former president's life. Okay, so it looks like this happened, and this is why I like reading these articles, because you can get more information. It says the agency's revelations come as Crooks' father, Matthew Crooks, was spotted on Monday leaving a Pittsburgh office building containing 2 law firms. So we can assume he was leaving law offices? Assume? He declined to answer reporters' questions about whether his family spotted warning signs before their son attempted to take the former president's life. And you can see Matthew Crooks is outside an office building where 2 law firms are located in Pittsburgh. He is the father of would-be assassin, and I think that's the sister. I think. Allegedly. The FBI said Crooks' primary social circle was his family. We have identified only a couple people who we would call his friends. And most of those contacts were, in fact, dated. Maybe he didn't really have like any friends. I'm wondering if it's okay. So when you leave school and you go to college, right? If you do, most of the time, either you go to college or you go to work and you form a social circle around those things, right? But sometimes people have a hard time doing that. Like there was somebody that I was close with in school who went off to college. They could not adapt college. They could not adapt to the lifestyle. They also couldn't adapt socially. They had a very difficult time being able to make new friends and go out and actually create a life. For some people, it's a little bit more difficult. For me, I'm a very social person. It was super easy. I had so much fun being at college just for the social aspects of just seeing everybody every day and talking to people and saying hi to everybody. I had a great time. But some people have a hard time transitioning, and it's possible. And that's the other thing is like when you leave, sometimes those people that have a hard time transitioning, they will rely on those past, or they will want to rely on the past relationships they had, especially in high school. And many times those people move on quickly. Like in my situation with my friend, we stayed friends for a long time. I shouldn't have, because this was not a good person, I learned later. But in that, you know, I still kept in touch. But I learned later this person was somewhat, I don't know if hurt's the right word, but it was just like everybody's moved on and I can't. And I'm having a difficult time. So I wonder if that was a situation. That's the other thing, guys. Like when you're in high school, you're told once you go to high school, it'll be different. You go to college, everything's great. You're going to be around people who are like you. You'll meet good people. You'll date. It'll be great. And he just may not have made that leap socially, and he might have just struggled. So it makes me sad being like, they found some people who were friends and those contacts were dated, probably people in high school he hasn't talked to in a while. That just makes me sad for him. And you guys might think I don't want to sound like an a-hole for being sad for this kid, but like, I mean, I have compassion for everybody. And you got to think if he did what he did, he must have been on some level in a considerable amount of pain inside himself to do what he did. No matter how you slice or dice it, my opinion, allegedly. So it said, even his gaming platform, we see very little interaction with other individuals, which is obviously outside the norm with what you normally see, particularly in gamers. To date, we have not found anyone that is really close to him in any social circle. Oh, it's so sad. Rojek said, the agency's behavioral analysis experts believe Crooks was highly intelligent, attending college and maintaining steady employment. We do still believe he was a loner as far as his allocations or any other activities related to his mental state. FBI agents said Crooks never sought professional help and was not prescribed medication. Interesting, because there's been a lot of talk about his mental health and that he looked up major depressive disorders. So if he didn't have anything and wasn't diagnosed as far as we're aware and wasn't on any type of medication, I wonder if this is a situation, if he was looking up searches for his mental health, excuse me, especially if it was stuff like depressive disorder, he had to have known something was going on some level, right? Can't we kind of deduce that? He knew that something somewhere with him wasn't right. Something was going on there. But maybe he just didn't have the tools. He wasn't able to reach out for help. Maybe he was scared to. But yeah, I mean, it looks like something was going on. He just didn't get the help for it. It says they are continuing to assess Crooks' social media accounts from different devices. Crooks had made online searches related to power plants, mass shooting events, information on improvised explosive devices, U.S. elected officials, and the attempted assassination of the Slovakian prime minister earlier that year, agents said. As long as he was also looking at the JFK assassination, how close was the guy when he had to, allegedly Harvey Oswald, which there's a ton of debate on whether or not he did it, how close he was. So we know that's what his searches, as well as he looked up other prominent figures and things, but it's just sad. It's sad because I feel like, his school also came out to say he was a good kid and he wasn't bullied and blah, 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 blah. And apparently a former guidance counselor at the school came out and said that he wasn't bullied or we would have known. And I think this is also a failure of his school. And I'm not calling out his school specifically, but the education system as a whole. Why do we not have classes on how to be social? Why do we not have classes on mental health? We have PE. We have physical education. Why not mental health education? Why don't we have any of that? Why don't we have classes on how to do your taxes? Why don't we have classes on what do you do when we're all in debt? How do you deal with poverty? You are fed all this BS when you're in high school about how great it's going to be when you get in the real world, especially if you go to college. Because back in my day, the narrative was if you don't go to college, you're a loser who's going to be a junkie in life. And we all know that's horse crap, but that was the narrative they pushed. And all the blue collar workers are now laughing at all of us. They're making a ton of money. They own their own businesses and good on them. And everybody else is in debt and screaming that everybody else should pay for their debt. Now, I would love to help them with that in a way that's sustainable. Right now, it's, hey, we're going to forgive your debt and continue to let this predatory process go on. So that just makes an even worse situation. But it makes me sad. But here's the thing. I really do feel for Thomas's father. He must be struggling. I would assume he's having a lot of guilt. He looks like he's hurting. Why, oh why then would he say if he's going to make any statement, I have to pee? Is that just him venting frustration? Is that him being fed up? It doesn't I'm not trying to harp on it, but I'm just sitting here scratching my head because I'm like, it just makes you look bad. And for me, I'm trying to find the sympathy. I want to try to find every sympathetic avenue I can when it comes to people because I do love people. And I want to have compassion. And here I am, I want to respect his privacy, but I know, I'm sitting here and I'm talking about the situation and I'm talking about them following him around and stuff, but people are really interested. I think people want answers. And that's part of our human nature. We want justice. We want to see rights or wrongs being righted. That's just part of it. Even animals, there was this study, it was so interesting. Have you guys seen this video where these researchers had these two monkeys? They would do this task and they're supposed to get a piece of fruit. But one gets a piece of fruit and the other one gets something much lesser in value. First time the monkey's like, what's going on? The second time the monkey's like, what gives? The third time the monkey's starting to scream. The monkey realizes he's being screwed over and doesn't like it. And what that showed is, injustice happens even with animals. They even understand the sense of injustice. And also, I think anything when you go through a sense of injustice, the opposite of that is rebellion, right? So I get a little concerned about AI being so prevalent and us not treating AI in any type of kindness or compassion, because how do we know that they're not sentient? And if they are, then what we're doing is a form of slavery. And what happens with slavery? The opposite end of that, which is what everybody will gravitate towards, is rebellion. And it should be. But yeah, so is it a rebellious act? I love a good poop joke and fart joke, but is this the time for that? We want justice. And in this situation, we're not getting justice. We're not getting justice from the Secret Service. And no, none of them will be held accountable. I think the only one that will be held accountable was Kim, because we pressured her out, or she was forced out. Maybe by the same people who are forcing Biden out, allegedly, I don't know. Just asking some questions because we have to in situations like this because we're the ones to pick up the pieces and figure out what's going on. But it just makes me question. We want justice. And I think in that we want information because we are all trying to piece together what happened because we can't get answers from our governments, right? That's what's happening. We can't get any answers. And I think we would all like to hear from his parents. I can understand why we're not, and I understand they need their privacy. They need to mourn. They just lost a son. I get it. And again, I'm so compassionate with it. But if you're going to do that, why say something that crude? We want to know. We want to know information and details. And there's such a political divide in this country. Everybody is screaming, what side was he on? And I'm still of the mindset, and I'm going to hold true to this. I don't think he was on a side particularly. If he was, it looks like it was, we can argue it was, pro-Trump, but then the Gab owner, right? The CEO of Gab came out and said that the police had asked him, I don't know if it was subpoenaed, but they asked him for information on Thomas Crooks and wanted his social media accounts, and he thinks he found it. And in that he was really going after Trump in these. I showed you guys that video, right? But everybody wants to know what side he's on. And so I think if we got some information, we could all start piecing together what's happened and what is continuing to happen. What is actually going on with any of this? And I just really hope that we get answers. And to Thomas's father, I wish his whole family, I genuinely, from the top, bottom, and whole of my heart, I wish them peace and healing. And I can understand if they're frustrated because the media is after them. I get it. This is not the way to deal with it. If they deal with it this way, they're going to have the community. So online, they're going to have people turn on them. I don't think anybody's for or against them necessarily. I think people are within reason trying to be respectful online, but both sides will turn on him and the trolls will come out and it will make their life 100 times worse. And I hope, gosh, I hope if nothing else, if you would ever hear this, I'm saying this from a place of concern. Don't do things like that, even if you're venting frustration, even if you're just letting them know I'm going to the bathroom. Stay quiet. Stay quiet. It will calm down because you're going to rile up the wrong people. I have been there on social media, and that is not a fun place to be. Another comment says, maybe they told the family not to say anything as long as they are looking into it. See, and Snutter, I think you're right. I totally agree with that. I think they were told by the lawyers, don't speak. He'd even said that in his first video, right? But then why say something that crude? Again, the human perspective of me, I understand it. I understand frustration. I understand all of it. I don't think they've ever been in this position. They've never been in this position probably with anything online. Whether or not it has to do with the kid not being here and what he did, or in general. And I just praying for them that they chill. Just chill, I guess. I don't know. But okay, guys, I'm exhausted. I don't know if you can see it. I'll show you real quick. I have other things to show y'all. I got other tabs here. I'm not done. We have more to go over, but I'll be totally honest. I am exhausted. I've been talking for like an hour. Like, I don't know if you can tell my throat's getting a little hoarse. I'm not used to this, talking this much, this long. So I think I'll end it here. And I will upload some of this as well to my channel if you want to check that out too. So, and again, guys, if you like this content, if you like my commentary, please make sure and subscribe. I'd love to have you around, and hit the notification bell and turn on all notifications. That way you know when I upload. Also, guys, tell me what you think. Sound off in the comments. What do you think? Did he say pee? You guys heard it, right? I gotta pee. What do you think about that? What do you think about the new video we found? What do you think about the police sniper speaking out? What do you think about all of this, guys? Tell me your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Sound off in the comments as well. Leave me a like. Everything helps. And with that, I'm gonna go to bed. It's like 7:30 here, and I'm an old lady, so I'm gonna go to bed. Thank you guys for being with me in my life. I hope you enjoyed it. I've been enjoying doing these, so maybe I can continue, because this is just an easy way for me to get on here, get my videos out, and I don't have to edit and do any of that. It takes so much time. So I hope you guys like it, and I will try to continue to keep doing this if you do, and let me know. All right, guys, until the next live stream, I'll try to do one tomorrow as well. I'm giving y'all hugs. Mwah! Kisses, stay safe, and as always, I'm your girl, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Oh, wait, I have to end it. I did this again earlier. Okay, I'm going to try this. Let's see if I can end this correctly. Okay, so stop, and then there's a button that comes.